Hey everybody, Tina Campbell, the New York Regional Partner of Master Networks. Welcome to a Lunch and Learn. I'm really excited today, as I always am. We have some wonderful people that have sat and taught me things over the last few months. But today's extra special. I'd like to introduce you to Precious Williams, and she's from our New York City region, but we're all family, so we're all part of the New York region. So happy to have you. Thanks, Precious, for coming on with me.
Thank you, Tina.
Oh, this is great. And so what we're going to be talking about is attracting visibility. So tell us about yourself and then tell me about that, what that means.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Precious Williams. I'm the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And what I do is I teach the art and science of the most killer elevator pitches, media pitches, investor pitches, and speaker pitches. As a 13-time national elevator pitch champion, a world-class master communicator, an international professional speaker, two-time #1 best-selling book author, writer, whatever you want to call it, and a corporate trainer for the likes of LinkedIn, Google, and Microsoft. One of the things that I truly stress to people, especially right now, entrepreneurs and speakers, is to stay visible. So if you want to know what that means, it means staying top of mind with your target market. Now, we're in the midst of a pandemic. We're in the midst of an economic downturn and even social unrest. Some people are scared to even put themselves out there, thinking that it's quite disrespectful or that no one's going to pay attention to them right now. And I say to that, phooey, what are you talking about? People can't watch the news all day, every day, and that's all they get. What you want to do is show them what's possible from working with you or taking your program, your product, your service, your book. And what you want to do is give an alternative to what's actually happening in the world. And when I say being visible, each one of us has something to teach the world. Each one of us has a message that the world needs to hear right now.
Yes.
And so I stay positive no matter what, right? I stay positive. But I also share my story of overcoming different circumstances, how I was able to triumph over homelessness, abandonment, a lot of bad things that happened through the power of pitching. How was I able to do that? And so when you look at what's going on in the world, so many people are depressed. They don't know how to have hope. And then they can meet someone like you or watch your video or look at you on social media and say, she's still doing it. Why can't I? I need some of what she has. I need something of what he has. Yeah. The purpose of being a part of Master Network is that you never go it alone. And that you have people who are here to support you, to guide you, to push you, to challenge you. And so when I talk about being visible and remaining visible and attracting visibility,
Yes.
is you want to attract, you want to bait, attract, and close sales right now. You want to be the ultimate resource. You want to stand out in a crowded marketplace. You may think that what you do is a commodity, and I'm here to tell you, even if you think it is, right now, people are looking for alternatives to what they're already seeing. So if you get your message right, if you're able to talk to them in the language they want to hear, you're going to stand out and you're going to get the sale. Plus, you're going to have the type of impact. Now, you can sit in the background if you want to, or you can refuse to give in to fear, worry, and doubt. Create your plan and move in it. It's almost like Fleetwood Mac, go your own way and watch others follow you.
And you, I read your book and it's very inspiring, and but it's also, very informative. You're teaching us how to start this visibility. So tell me, a lot of people watching this are going to be like, okay, well, she has this amazing personality that comes out, right? And there's some people, maybe more introverted. So how would you start? How would you start the process to become, even if it's just a little bit more visible?
So, if I were to start over, let's say I was an introvert. One of the things that I would pay most attention to is utilizing social media. So let's say you don't want to be on video. What are you saying in your messages? Are you asking your particular target market what is their challenge right now? Or what are some of the things that they're struggling with, and you offer some of the things you're struggling with? Because when people see that you are not just using that as, oh, like a little bait to get them to say something, but you're also putting yourself out there. You're showing vulnerability. Every post I have isn't, I'm so great, I did this. Some of my posts are literally that yesterday I put on there, I've been clean and sober from a severe alcohol addiction for three and a
Yes,
half years. That went viral.
that's amazing. I'm
Do you want
sorry.
to know why I wrote that though? It wasn't just because it's true.
Yeah,
It's because even in a time like this, people are struggling with all sorts of issues. And it caused people to get into my inbox and say, how were you able to do it? I need, I never thought I could relate to you because you always seem so larger than life.
yeah,
And you became really human in that moment of celebrating something that people would be ashamed to talk about.
right,
Do you know shame is keeping people from being visible right now? So why don't you start asking questions and making yourself vulnerable? Start talking about the things that you're struggling with and asking who else is struggling with this.
right,
You can relate it to your business or you can relate it to something else you're passionate about.
right.
Because even in a time like this, some businesses aren't going to miraculously thrive, but there might be something you're passionate about that will. You may create journals for women who are struggling. You may create products for little girls who are sitting at home with their parents who can't teach them anything. You may be able to really speak to men who feel like they can't truly articulate what they're going through because, women are supposed to be emotional.
Right.
So start by asking necessary questions. Do your research and also post. I, people think that if you post once a day or once a week, that's great. And it's like, no, if you want people to really get to know you, they need to see you through repetition. I OD on posting. I know I do. I OD. I post probably 7 times a day on all platforms. And it's because the more you see me, the more you're like, oh,
Yeah,
he gets tired too. But she
right.
keeps going. Like let's address the elephant in the room. I'm missing a tooth. That has not stopped me from being hashtag booked and busy by the biggest companies in the world. Do you want to know why? Because I teach how to show up regardless.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And you know what? It's really not that noticeable, by the way, right now. But it does, but it's being vulnerable. So, but so many people are so afraid of that. So they think that they're in an industry that, people are going to, let's say it's a financial advisor.
I work with them a lot.
Right. So that's tough because, they think, well, do people want to have, them invest money if they're, you know, uh, vulnerable and showing any lack of confidence. So
hmm
how do you work with that?
I'm going to tell you something that happened to me one day. I was at an E-Women Network event. And no, I was on. No, I was at an event called Westchester Networking for Professionals event. And
Yes.
this, and so this attorney stood up, and we didn't know he was an attorney. He called himself a firefighter, and he looked nothing like a firefighter. His name is Paulo, and I just thought he's so cute. But he stood up and said he's a firefighter, and then he went on because we were looking like, and he talked about putting out family fires. And then going into insurance and law and stuff like that. And the way he did it was so masterful
Yeah, that
that
is.
I was like, ooh, he didn't just talk about finances. He didn't talk about, saving for a rainy day,
Yeah.
taking care of your family. Because to some people right now, the immediate is more important than long term.
Yeah.
So if you're going to address the issues that are really on the hearts and minds of your target market, you have to really get to know what they are, right? And he knew that if he said something kind of off the wall,
Yeah.
that we were all going to be like,
Yeah.
word? And when I tell you, business cards were like, people were like, they loved him. And so what that told me is that so many of us are afraid of not just being vulnerable, but saying something that's slightly controversial. And I'm not afraid to be controversial. I'm not afraid to be the Black woman in the room who questions. I'm not
Right.
afraid to be the woman that's not just going along to get along.
Yeah.
In business, remember, you are there, you're hired for a purpose. And that purpose isn't to tell people what they want to hear. It's also to tell them what they need to hear. And
Yeah.
even in a time like this, you can play games and be in the background, or you can take your rightful place in the foreground. So let's say you're an introvert.
Yeah.
You can be the quiet storm. You know, I'm gregarious, right? I'm all in your face. Just imagine if the person who followed up behind me stood quiet, stood up to give her pitch, and she took 1 second to just look. Now your eyes are on her or him, and they draw you in to them by the way they speak. What if they have the quiet voice? You know what you do? You lean in, like, maybe I'm learning something a little more. Do you see how different that is? Like,
And
I'm in your face, but an introvert can use the quiet storm. They
quiet.
can walk in. Like, I walk in, you feel my presence before I get there. What they do with their presence, and this is something that I teach, what they do with their presence is force you to lean into them. Because when they talk, you know they're not giving you BS. So you better listen to what they're saying. That attracts visibility too.
That's
Not all
so
of us are meant to be
true.
the same. Am I right? Like, people think, oh, she was on Shark Tank, she was on CNN, she was on Forbes, she was in Forbes Magazine, she did this and that. I have to be her. No, you don't. What we do is we work with the best of you. If you are intro and extro at the same time, it happens. We can work with both of that.
So
Your job is not to get everyone. Mhm.
do you remember? So this is the thing I was so freaked about because I was supposed to, before the pandemic, I was supposed to follow you at a
I remember.
JRT is go of, the regional partner of New York City is going, good luck with that. And I wanted to smack him because he likes to tease me. But he's like, oh yeah, when he saw it with a thing and he was like, oh yeah, good luck with that. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make that impact? But I love what you just said. I don't have to be you.
Not at all.
But I love what you said because it would be like, and don't try to be another person, even in when we do sound bites or presentations and anywhere, whether it's Master Networks or beyond, that you can, well, you do have those people that go, oh, I have to go after her or I have to do whatever. You can be yourself, you can be different, but you want to be unique. Would you say?
Yes, you want to be unique, and you also, what is your strength? What's your strength? Like, my strength is I'm unapologetically me. And so for some people that's going to rub some people the wrong way because they would prefer me to be in a box and in a
Right,
package.
but that's okay
So
because you don't want those people as your
I
clients.
don't want those people. Again, we're focusing on your target market. We're not focusing on everyone.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's even in the Bible, like, God doesn't want you to be lukewarm. Like, I want you to love me or hate me. Have a real reaction.
yeah, a real
And
relationship.
have a real, so with my target market, I found the tribe that fits my vibe. And that
Yeah,
tribe is even
I
in
love
master
that.
networks. And yes, we have introverts, extroverts. We have people who can float between the two very easily. I don't always have to speak, contrary to what people think. I don't always have to. Invisibility, let me just say this, it's not about being the loudest in the room. Not at all. Visibility is building on repetition. So if they saw you today, they need to see you tomorrow
Right,
to
showing.
know that you are who you say you are. Are you consistent? Are you persistent? Do you
Yeah,
stay thirsty on the grind?
yeah. This is like, I'm telling you, I'm totally fired up. And this is great. This is great because you say what I'm thinking, which is great. And one of the things I'm always thinking about trying to tell people is about showing up. Show up. It's
Show
like
up.
the first thing, right? It's the first thing. If people are like, well, how do I get, and well, I mean, that's part of your visibility. If you don't show up, you're not going to be visible. I don't care if I get some email that comes in, goes back out, it doesn't, that's not visibility, right? It's like you
That's
said,
not visibility.
10 times a day, you're showing up in different places. And
When you're doing speaking gigs, take a picture of the moment. Take a picture. Because people, I've learned, honestly, Tina, is people talk a good game until you ask them to show proof. You ever notice that? People can tell you they were on Shark Tank all day long. Who's got proof? People can tell you that they're speaking at such and such places. What do I show y'all? I show the flyers. I show you, like, I may show you who booked me because that's my thing, right?
Yeah.
But I can show you that I really am booked and busy.
Yeah.
I can show you that I can sit in a house all day, every day, and thug it out.
Yeah.
Being visible is not about perfection. It is not about having the perfect makeup or anything. I'm missing a tooth right now. No one cares.
You look gorgeous.
In the midst of a pandemic, throw perfection, what you think perfection is, out the window. Please throw it out the window. People don't care about that. They care about being able to identify that this person has either went through something I've gone through or they've walked people through the process.
Yeah.
Is your book informative? Is it entertaining? Is it transformative? Is it edutainment? What is it? And why does it apply to that particular target market? I work specifically usually with women between the ages of 35 and 59. That's my sweet spot. It's not because I'm 41. It's just because these women have already been successful in one realm and now they want to take it to the next. What if you've been sitting on a dream for 20 years? You're not 20 years old saying that. You're usually older and you put in the work, but now you're ready to test the waters in a way you weren't before. You're settled and you're stable. So now, do you work on that dream? Do you write that great American novel? Do you put together that script? Do you attack television? What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You get visible right now.
Yep.
Because people are paying attention. Don't think that people aren't on LinkedIn right now paying attention to people they never paid attention to before.
Yes. I
So
agree.
be a content creator, but don't put this perfection thing on yourself. So being visible, put things out there. Some things are going to land and some things aren't, even for me. But that's the value of testing. What do people like more? What are they responding more to? What gets them to be in my inbox? What gets them to go to the website? You know what I mean? That's how you do it.
Oh yeah.
And don't be afraid to test.
And the other thing, so tell me about, I have a book, tell me about your workbook. So what is because I saw that was attached to, when I went into Amazon. And so tell me about your workbook.
So the Bad Bitches and Power Pitches workbook is literally like this whole guidebook on writing specific pitches for different entrepreneurs and different speakers, right? So I literally walk you through different templates, different checklists, right? How do you get to speak to this person? What should be in your posts on LinkedIn? What should be in your Facebook? In your Facebook posts, what should be like, how it's really truly about being very visible with your pitches. So in my first book, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, for women entrepreneurs and speakers only, it was about deciding which bad bitch you were. The workbook takes it into overdrive, and now we're really creating the pitches that are going to work for you.
That's fantastic. So
and
because I
if
was
you wanted, yes. Mm-hmm.
I
so
like
it's a much bigger book. You can see it's a much bigger book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real workbook, and so that's why I got I got your book on Kindle. But I was like, I want the paper. I want to work through that, and I will. And you're so accessible and able to like help people, and that's one of the things I really appreciate. I mean, even though I'm not in the New York City region right now, but I feel so bad that I haven't been able to get a chance to get there. I run all these meetings like every single day and haven't been able to come, but just I hear about you. You know what I mean? People are talking, and that's the thing, in such a great way about, it's as though, we really have a celebrity, in our midst here. But isn't that kind of cool? It's like, what you said about, through you're an attorney, you're so many things, and you brought it all together, and you're so accessible in order to help people to be their best. That's
It's
what's
it's a really beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. It's also overwhelming. because I didn't do it for that. I just wanted to be able to show women, especially, you can do it. And I've been told all my life I wasn't good enough, wasn't pretty enough, wasn't smart enough, wasn't skinny enough, wasn't tall enough, wasn't all of these things. And finally, I had to let it go. In fact, I cut all my hair off on the 4th of July to claim my independence. I do not subscribe to any box. I will not be categorized. I move to the beat of my own drum. I'm like the little drummer girl. I just move to my thing, and I want other women to feel that way too. You can sit in a box if you want to, but that box will squeeze you. It will squeeze the life out of you. Or you can decide, let me try something different. If it works, great. If it doesn't, when I meet young people, I tell them this all the time. Mark Zuckerberg said, move fast and break things. If it doesn't work, move on to something else. You have enough life in you. I'm 41, and I feel like I'm in the prime of my life.
Oh, yeah.
People think that their high school years are their best. I'm living it now.
Oh, yeah. Me too. I turned 59 yesterday, and it's like, I'm just like, all right. Yeah, totally. Because it, in the midst of a lot of, discovery in the last 4 months here, you know, been able to really look at things in broader, but yet in some type like microscopic almost sometimes.
Yes.
It's
So
weird,
from the
right?
macro to the micro.
Yeah, it's a very different thing, but I really believe that this empowerment and this time in our existence, that this divine feminine is coming out, and really taking a look at, what, relationships and nature and all of these things that are kind of resetting themselves. And what I'm really hoping is that we all get this chance to use this opportunity that we're being given right now to change things and to or change things even up a little bit, right? And that this empowerment, that we're all having an opportunity. You just have to take it, right? It's an
Yeah, you
opportunity.
can learn everything in the world that you want to, but until you take action,
Yeah.
it doesn't, if knowledge isn't applied, you might as well just leave it in the book you read it or the show that you watched or something like that. And so I'm so glad that, Tina, you're doing these and allowing us to, give bite-sized, juicy nuggets and morsels of info that can totally transform how someone sees something that they're scared to do, not realizing that it can really impact your business, your career, and your life in so many ways that you can't see right now. I never thought I'd be where I am in such a short period of time.
And
I had a 5 to 10 year plan.
yeah,
It took 4 months.
right. And the relationships, right? I mean, the fact that
The
we can
relationships that
do
Master Networks has created for me, from you to Jay Ortiz to Danielle Hughes, the president of the Midtown New York chapter. When I tell you, I I can call on any of the people and say, hey, I might be struggling with something. Do you know I will get a call back? Hey,
this.
let's talk it out. Hey, Miguel, he will always reach. Miguel be on it.
Oh, no.
Miguel, you have Ramona Thomas, you have Richard, you have these wonderful people, whether they're in real estate or doctors, lawyers,
Doesn't
like
matter, right?
like like Master Networks brings truly the best of the best, and then the training. Like you can go to a whole lot of other networking events, but the training that you get is so top notch, and for people to be able to talk about it from different perspectives, different industries, you can't beat that with a stick. That's why I rocks with Master Network,
Oh,
because it has been the best for me.
thank you. I really feel it's so proud that it attracted people such as yourself and all of the people you listed.
Thank you, Danielle.
And yeah, I mean, all of them. It's like I've gotten a chance to know quite a number of that you've said of those people like really well, and I want to know. Obviously, I have FOMO. I have fear of missing out. So it's like I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody. But I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to spend time with you. And I'm hoping that, people will look at this and see, two women that, just want to help create the opportunities, just empower other people and also, empower ourselves. because that's what's so important. But I wish you the best. And I know that I'm going to be seeing you on, with the next Shark Tank, and hopefully you'll remember us when.
I'm gonna still be rocking with Master Network. Stop playing.
I hope so. Well, anyway, so thank you so much. And I know that we'll have other opportunities to talk with each other. And we'll do this again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. And again, my name is Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO. Perfect Pitches by Precious. Thank you.
And we're going to have all below, we're going to have all your information. People can contact you. And just thank you so much.